It's been over a month since the Total War Arena has came out, and it's still very big from the looks of it, and it's here to stay. But I still keep seeing a lot of people, even on high tiers, making these very simple mistakes that cost them the engagement and at times the entire battle. So let's take a look at these mistakes. First is not going for the capture. The point in the conquest mode is to, well, conquer. It does not matter how many enemies you kill, what matters is what you do with those kills. Yes, killing the enemy will give you more XP and will earn you chevrons. But what is the point if you lose the battle, because you were too busy fighting in the middle of nowhere? What you should instead do is to position yourself to fight on the point while keeping the enemy out of the point. The other mistake that a lot of people make is rushing to the enemy base. Quick wins sounds quite good, and rushing the enemy base with overwhelming force can indeed be an effective strategy if your enemy does not scout, but in this new mode, it takes the player 5 seconds to teleport back to base, while at least 30 seconds for you to respawn. This becomes a major problem because with everything else equal, this means the only ways the rushers can win is to hope they can keep the enemy outside the base for long enough to capture, and the other is they trap the spawn location. All of this requires your forces not to have been detected by the enemy team, and as such this kind of strategy would work only as organized teams against unorganized teams. The third mistake is not watching what they're fighting. I can't emphasize this enough, but I will keep this short because the more I talk about this, the closer I get to giving myself a brain aneurysm. Before you engage a unit, check what the commander is. You can clearly see what type of unit it is, but you need to check the commander. If you're engaging Sula with anything other than an elephant, you should know that 1, you will lose that battle because you will be dealing no damage, or even if you do win, you would have wasted so much time that the rest of his team has captured the rest of the points, made lunch, ate lunch, and are having 4 o'clock tea while their points are ticking to victory. Sula Infantry is just one of these examples. This can be applied for any defensive commanders. Scipio Cavalry is one other example. The Oath of Perseverance basically makes those units as tough as bricks, and they will be taking so little damage that your best bet is to keep it engaged 1-to-1, use skirmishers, and also this advice goes especially for Germanicus. If you're fighting Germanicus and saw him popping Vengeance, you run, because that button has effectively turned his unit into a growing human-shaped combine harvesters on legs. Basically, check what you're fighting, make your decision, and then, engage it. Number 4, not checking the enemy composition. This is important at every level of play. At the beginning of the game, you are given the information of what your enemy plays, and as such, if it's a tournament game, you can already predict what you will be facing in your lane. If it's a random public match, you will know if you can expect ambushes from the woods, volleys of arrows out of nowhere, or a grindy match where you should sit back and let your skirmishers do the killing while you come in and mop the floor with the enemy. Know yourself and know your enemy. 100 battles, 100 victories. In a related note, number 5, not moving with your support. This applies for both the skirmishers and mainline players. Cavalry generally can move around on their own because thanks to their speed, they can choose their engagements. Not moving as a team will always leave you vulnerable and can have you end up facing your direct counter or multiple players at once. It will just result in having a bad time. If your skirmishers are random roaming, cavalry will wipe out all of your units and you will just be a free kill for them. For infantry, skirmishers are just passing by and they will eat you alive, or will have you stranded and surrounded in no time if you're Germanicus. So at the start of the game, make sure you move closer to the person that you will be partnering with for the game and move together towards the objective. Towards this goal, you can use pings or just small movements or even chat. Because of the sheer diversity of the players in the game, however, I found pings to be the most useful method. These were the top 5 mistakes that I see a lot of players do and how to avoid them. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.